Yeah, I just had to put in another memory card. So we're back on track. Okay, so we have, this is dry, and I want to mix some kind of shadow color. Now my favorite shadow color is made with purple, the darkest blue, and the darkest brown. The purple is the 5th one over on the 2nd row.
The plum colored purple or the...
It's
that one might
that
be blue
one.
or purple. Yes.
That one.
Purple and what?
Purple, the dark blue, which is the 3rd one down, 3rd one over. So it's almost a
This
midnight.
For the shadows.
And then I add brown,
I'm gonna
which
put
is
that
the
in my
darkest
journal.
brown.
So shadows equal.
Now they can be different colors, but if I just want a shadow color,
Right.
I don't go to the gray or black that's on that palette.
Purple.
I want something that has more color to it. So it's purple, a dark blue, and a brown. And when you know, if it goes if that, you can control, well, do you want it to lean more toward purple? Do you want it to lean more toward blue? But what I'm going to do with this shadow, now, again, a test, if you have a test sheet, when I look at that line's kind of dark. So I'm going to add more water to this shadow color that I have because I don't want it to be that dark. That's a little better. Okay. All right, so what I want to do is, if I'm looking at this, let me move it where you can see it. I'm looking at this, the piece that's coming straight at me is going to be more straight up and down, just like the part of the watermelon that was closest to me is straight, and as I get away from the center, it starts to curve. This one, as I get away, it's like perspective. As I get further away, that goes that direction. You see, if my vanishing point was about here, and I looked at this, do you see how that kind of lines up?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start with, well, that's still dark. I'm just going to take a streak that goes down, and I skip over another streak, but I'm going to start angling it in. Whoop. And then I'm going to decide which side is going to be darker. This side I'm going to have a little darker, so I'm just going to take that shadow and cover up a little bit more and create a cast shadow over here by laying some off to the side.
What colors did you use to make that?
I used the purple, which is the 5th one over on the 2nd row, the 3rd blue, 3-3, and the 4th dark, the 4th one, it's like 4-4, 4th row, 4th one over, it's a dark brown.
Okay.
And depending on how much of each you have, and then I had a lot of water, then that just gives me a soft edge. Now, one thing I forgot to do before I did the shadow is to add the designs on the cake, on the cover. So we're going to come back and add designs in a minute because I forgot. But that's nice because watercolor is transparent, and that's okay. It'll still work. So because that part's wet and I don't want to paint on it, I'm going to go to another part of the cupcake and paint on it. So what part would be dry?
Frosting.
Yeah, the frosting is dry. So I know I can do that little strawberry. And I'm going to paint the strawberry up underneath where I don't want to paint where the leaves are. I probably should have painted the leaves first. Then I could paint underneath it.
Can we see your reference? Because I can't.
So sorry.
I can't see
Thank
it,
you.
So
That would be a lot easier to paint something if you knew what you were doing. So just create a little bit of hint. And I don't even mind doing the leaves while this is wet if I'm careful. because sometimes it's all right if one color blurs into another. You don't want to be so stiff with it that you can't allow for that. And I use more than one green. Can't even really tell that's a strawberry right now. We'll come back with the pen. I'm going to add a little darker to it. And when we add the little zigzags with the pen, then that makes a huge difference. You can put whatever design you want on your cupcake. You can have a variety of colors. However, this cupcake, this one I left white, did all the designs, and then put the shadows in. Because this already has color on it, you're going to think, what color, if you mix a color with green and you don't like it, the opposite of green is red. So if you put red over it, it's going to look more brown. So I don't want red. So I might just do similar to what I had here and practice my brush strokes, see if I can do skinny and do some little squiggly lines. Little, it can be anything. Little spirals, different directions. I'm just going to do something mindless. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I think I could do this 4 weeks. So we'll see. Oh, a couple of things to let you know. I don't know if any of you plein air paint or you want to. Have I told you about this? It's January 24th. It's a Friday morning, Forsyth, Georgia Square. There's just a few of us that want to practice some plein air painting, and we're gonna sit on the square or stand at the square and paint whatever we see. I'm doing oils on that day, and this would be a good chance if you want to play with this, because you would not be the only person painting, and you could try to paint what you see. And we would have had, well, of course, we'll have another class before then.
When you say a few, what are you talking about? 100?
Oh no!
100 of us, or
no. I mean, there's probably the group that's going to the group. Deb Item. Well, she's not going because it's Terry's birthday. Nell Walters, me, Denise Buff.
Yeah, I know Denise.
And she was going to tell some of the people in her group, see if they wanted to. I mentioned it to my class, the first class, and then my painting class. You weren't there Tuesday,
right?
But it's no lesson, no charge. It's just a group of people who want to try to paint outside. If you don't want to be outside, you can sit in the guild foyer area, and they've got great big plate glass windows, and you could look outside if it's too cold.
And what day is it?
It's Friday, the January 24th. And we're going to meet around 9. I'm going to demo if anybody wants to watch, because somebody wanted to see it. So I said, well, you can watch me if you want. And we're going to paint until we get tired, and then we're going to go to
eat at Grits.
Eat at Grits for lunch.
Grits is great.
So, I mean, it's just another chance to practice. And if you ever want to take this on the road, if you're traveling, you want to get, the more you do it out and around people, the more comfortable you'll be.
Yeah.
So you're all welcome to join us if you want. And if you just want to come and watch and sit, that's okay too. You don't have to paint. We're not going to, be mad at you.
Going to Grits is worth the trip.
I agree. I've only been once.
Me too.
And I want to go again.
I went to a Christmas party there. It was great.
Okay, so I want to do to do some line work, and I'm going to show you one other thing real quick before we quit, because it's almost over for the day.
Fast.
And see, it used to be just two and a half. I did 2 hours. That was too short. And then I did 2.5, and that was better. But we had 6 weeks of class. And I thought, well, looking at my calendar, I said, I can't really do 6 weeks. I said, but I could do 4 weeks. And if we did, having at least 3 hours gives everybody more chance to do some hands-on.
Are you gonna give us some homework?
Yes, absolutely. You do however much homework you want. You will not fail.
No, but giving us something to, kind of keep us accountable. Like, okay, before you come back, I want you to, you know what I'm saying.
Yep. Okay. One of the things, I want to stop soon enough for you, or y'all can stay a few minutes later. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to throw you out. One of the things I do want you to do is, before you leave, take some pictures of some of the more simple things that I've done. And you might have already done that as things were passing by. Like this is a lot of wet on wet. And it's very simple and fun. Now, don't worry about the drops of water. We'll do that.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Hmm?
We are doing that? Is that what you're doing?
Not today. But I'll show you how if you want. The other class goes, oh, that's cool. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh,
But yeah, I saw
I like
those.
this.
I was like,
I like
So,
this.
I mean, they're,
oh.
it's
Oh,
not
that's
it's not as difficult as it may seem. But, I mean, like, this is really simple. Y'all can do that. That's just like,
That's the one I noticed that I
That's your
thought I
picture.
could do.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do that.
That I think I can do
You can
a
do
million of
that.
those.
But I'm also going to look through, I've got a bunch of stuff that I did earlier that aren't as detailed, and it's really freer that take pictures of, like, a painting, somewhat abstract but not. And then try, if you see something that you like, take a picture of it and try it at home. And then that gives you an idea of, what I have, what you're successful with, and then what you need help with. And of course, this was just an introduction. I'm going to show you some flowers. This is one that I think you would like.
Oh, that's
See,
pretty.
it's real simple.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. So I'm going to show you something like that, but it's going to be in we're just going to do one cupcake because I'm running out of time. But that's the general idea. But now I'm going to come back with pen. The 005 is your tiniest pen. And I can't zoom on okay, so when I add pen, see, look at this one. Do you see how I added pen to the flowers? And it gave it definition.
Mm-hmm.
And I added pen to this one. I didn't outline everything. I just chose a few things to outline. And I even did outlines where there wasn't paint. Like I drew leaves where there wasn't even green. And to me, that adds just a softness and playfulness to it that I like. So this one is pretty much trace what you got. But I'm going to put the little V's for the strawberry to indicate what that is. And I'm going to outline. I'm not going to worry about if I get just right on it or not. Not going to outline every little curve, but I want enough. And then I can put in the zigzag here with the pen. And then I just drag one part of I just go the corner that's down. I drag that down, and that creates another illusion of the little cupcake
Did
kind
you
of
do the
thing.
swirlies with your Sharpie, or was that with your pen?
I did that with my brush.
I couldn't get mine fine enough. I finally had to blur it out with a paper towel. 'cause
Do you
it was
have
just-
the one from the kit, or do you have the
I have
Pentel?
both.
Pintail is the one I painted with, but
Okay,
I mean, just practice
Yeah.
with them and see.
Yeah.
It's a matter of just barely touching.
Right.
Okay, so let me just shift real quick because I want to show you. Just watch for like 5 minutes, and then I'll let you paint, and then you can take pictures and gather whatever it is we need to do. When I'm doing something like this or this, both of these were started the same way, wet on wet. Okay, I'm not going to do one this big because it takes too much space, but I'm going to start. I'm squeezing my brush, getting the water out. I'm looking to see, where the shine is. So I want it wet. Then I want colors for my flowers. So I'm going to start about a third of the way up, and I'm going to start putting in clumps of color and have it go in different directions. The base will usually reflect some of the color above it. So whatever I put up at the top, I try to put down in the bottom. Now this is a very simplified flower thing. So I can put some others, throw that down in here. I'm not trying to make any particular type of flower, any amazing bouquet of any kind. I just laying in colors that I like, and then I want some green just here and there. Again, my paper's still pretty wet, so I want different colors of green. I don't want it all the same. Ooh, that's pretty dark. But as it dries, you can come back with that same color and then add a little bit more color on certain parts, because it dries lighter than what you might want. And this might look kind of like a hot mess right now, which it kind of does. But when I come back with the pen and add little swirlies and other stuff to it, then it can really tighten up a little bit. So I'm going to leave that and let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and add pen to it. So just playing with laying in, that's how I made this. I laid in some color, and then I did swirls if I wanted to kind of look like a rose, and then just little ziggy zags. I wasn't trying to emulate, the rose is about the only one that I tried to make it look like anything. But it's like those subtle use of pen marks that allow you to get a hint of more definition without being stiff about it. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, homework. If you'll look at this, let's see. Watermelon, bouquet of flowers, ocean. Okay. I really want you to play. Playing, experimenting, trying it wet, changing colors from one to the other to where you're even starting with one color and transitioning it into another. We didn't do that tonight. We just kind of transitioned into no color, but where you can blur one into the other. I just forgot about that. But practice using your brush in wet on wet, wet on dry. We're going to be working, let's see, next week. Next week we're going to be talking about what captures your attention and focusing on where the light is, saving the light so that you can have some white in your picture. See, I wasn't even trying on these. I just wanted you to play with the brushes and the paint and get a feel for it. We're going to be working from photographs of places most of the time and some objects, to where if we're sitting at a restaurant, well, like when I was at the Grits Cafe, who was I talking to? What's her name? Peggy Vaughn. I had just met Peggy Vaughn. I didn't know her before then. and she's going with me. She's going with Deb on that to the plein air thing. Yeah, I can't even see it now. That's what I usually carry in my purse. Oh, it's right here. The journal. No, not that one. Oh, here it is. See, I'm not through with this one yet. No, that's not it. Where is it? It's a little one like this. Anyway, I was just showing her what it was like, and I painted the centerpiece that was on the table. It was just a little bitty vase with flowers, and just showed her and then I wrote about who I was with. So your drawings and your paintings don't have to be great detail. It could. I was doing a strata challenge here. There's another time I got tired, upside down. And then you see why. 32,000 steps, 329 floors, 14.53 miles. That was a long day. That was a hard hike. But the view, the view. And then we had hot chocolate fudge sundae when we got off the mountain, It was a good thing. So anyway, y'all have any questions? I know I've kind of... No? Is it overwhelming? Not? I hope not. Oh, one thing you need to do when you come, if you want me to cut paper for you, I want you to tear out whatever paper you want me to cut, and it will be cut the same size that fits in your... It's not, I don't do even though those hold 4x6, I don't cut them 4x6 because they're so hard to get in. You want a little gap. But all you would do is tear out whatever you want me to cut and write and pencil your name on the corner. And I'll be happy to cut whatever you leave me. If not, you decide if you want to fold your paper and make another journal for next week, or if you want to purchase a journal and you're just going to work out of that. Whatever you're going to work on, when you get here next week, we won't be spending time doing it. Mm-hmm. You'll already have that. So that's definitely your homework. Decide what you want to paint on and bring it, or leave me the paper so that I can cut it for you. And but I would like you to play with this at least 15 minutes a day. And whether it's you just pick an item that's at your desk or on the table and draw it out and just attempt to paint it. Controlling the edge and dragging it and making it soft or whatever the object is, depends on what kind of line you need. But if you can get used to thinking, well, would I need a soft line, a soft edge, or a hard edge? That's the first question you're going to ask anytime you paint watercolor to me is what kind of edge do I want? Because then you know whether to wet your paper or not. And just getting a habit of analyzing, well, if I painted that, how would I start that? Would I want to draw it first? Would I want to start with paint first? And just making a habit of mind, so to speak, of just how you think about stuff. You can either bring your own water bottle or bring that same water bottle back, or go to my sink next week, but that will be the only water bottle, the baby ones that I provide. So, but anyway, thank y'all for giving me the opportunity.
Enjoy it.
And
I've got my hardboard up there. We're demonstrating on it.
Which board? Oh, I accidentally hit it with paint, so I owe you another one.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn my brush and hit it, so thank you. Anybody else want me to cut anything up for them?
I don't have any paper, so I'll bring you some Tuesday if I decide to go that route.
Okay, that's fine. And, what,
Or were these
So-
okay, or do we leave these?
you can leave that.
Okay.
For scoring,
Leave that.
do you think
This
you
was
could
an
use
actual
like the
question.
back side of a table then?
Oh, you probably could. Yeah, as long as it's not the serrated
Yeah,
side.
not that.
Yeah.
I know, I'm trying to think.
Anything that's skinny.
I do have
and
some
hard.
clay tools,
Screen
but
got
I don't
all
remember
out of
even what
hand
they look like.
for my stem.
But that's a butter knife
Yeah,
would probably be
Yeah.
fine. Just something that's,
Those are all
that's
Enough to
a dent.
flatten that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that's a good idea.
I like MacGyvering it.
Yeah, oh, well,
Ah,
you can, yeah. Well, I mean, when I taught school, my budget was $4 a child.
Whoa.
$4
That's
a
what the school
child.
gave you, or
Yes.
that's what you spent?
Well, we won't go with what I spent, because I didn't want to spend a whole lot. I was a supply Nazi. I mean, I monitored my supplies like crazy, because I wanted them to be able to have the experience, but I didn't want to have to replace everything. So like if you were number 5 on my roster, everything that you used in my class had a number 5 on it.
Wow.
So if you screwed it
You're
up.
organized.
Yeah.
Oh, you've
Yeah.
never seen anybody more organized than her.
Oh, no.
Really? Wow.
If I had the
tell.
time, you know how you photograph the artist?
Yeah.
I would come photograph her
Here,
organization
I'll
and
show
write
you
a book
some.
about
That's
it.
what,
I'll
I'm
show you some.
impressed.
I've been on retreats with her. I mean, nobody is as good. And she can just come up with the most
But the problem
unbelievable
is
cheap
sometimes I
ways to
organize
do
myself out of
Yeah.
finance stuff.
Yeah.
But see, this is part of my organizational issue. Okay, say if you want to paint turtles, or say you want to paint trees,
This is what I need to do with
Okay,
all my
this
kids
is
and crap.
meadows, trees, and
Yes.
fields. Okay.
Yes.
So
Me
this is
too,
number
Mommy.
8. So if you take something out of this, it'll have an 8 on the back. So when you return it, you know what it goes in, because you might interpret it different than me. You might see that and go, well, I don't know, that, I don't see, you know. So each of these,
That's amazing.
but that way, that allows me to let y'all use my photographs, because I'll get them back and I'll put it, y'all, I'm not the one filing them. Yeah, I'm a little angry about certain things.
Well, you know,
But
I
Zoom,
wanted to be, but I can't
15.
be, so I just got rid of all my stuff.
I can't either.
Did a minimum.
I wish I could, but I can't. So,
Well, this just helps me in teaching, because otherwise I have a ton of pictures and they're going through hundreds of them,
Yeah.
and they want
That could be a
something
disaster.
coastal. It's like, well, if you want coastal, then or animals, then go to zoo or animals. Here's, you know. So
Duly
anyway,
impressed.
well, I hope you feel that way at the end of 4 weeks. But
you will.
I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And
Do you want us to pick up our name tags or leave them here?
Oh,
so
you
don't
can
have to-
just put them in your bag and
And then
bring them
bring
next
them back.
week. That would be great. I might lose them.
Nah, I doubt it.
No.
Not after what we've just seen.
No, I mean, I lose things. I do. There is an envelope of money somewhere in this house.
Oh, wow. We can try to help you find that.
I would give you a break. I would probably give you part of it if you found it. But I knew where it was at one point, and then I moved stuff out to make room for my daughter. I don't need to be recording all this. And then I forgot where I moved stuff because I was in a hurry clearing some things out. And, things happen.
Yeah.
Life happens, and